Unless you have like Van Dijk, then
Yeah, just your power forward center back.
Yeah, because I mean Van Dijk, you'll know with Alexander Arnold crossing the ball in on a corner or a free kick, Van Dijk is probably going to get his head on it and score. So that's probably the only center back I'd say that. And Liverpool usually keep clean sheet, so Van Dijk is one of the few center backs that you should have on your team. Yeah, and then Gareth Bale obviously coming back to the league with Spurs. I'd highly recommend picking him up if you can.
And under to Leicester.
Yeah, under to Leicester. That could be a good pickup. He did all right at Roma. Pretty sure he's on loan. So that could be a...
Did they? I thought they bought him.
Talksport said he was there on loan.
Probably with an option to buy.
Yeah. Same. That's probably the same thing they did with Tielemans. They're just doing a loan right now, so they can...
Year-long trial.
Yeah, gain the money throughout the year.
Got you. So what happens to Perez? I mean, most of the time it's... I mean, obviously it's the fad now to put and it's logical to put left-footed players on the right side of the field. Perez being more of a 10 in his past. Where do you see... And, he's been migrated out to the right recently. I don't know if, duty calls and we've got to put him out right because he has a left foot and Madison's our 10. But for that right vacant spot, is it for people who do have like Perez? Do you think it's a bad move or a good move to swap Perez out and get somebody else because of Under's coming? I mean, Under is a right winger; he's a right midfielder. Perez is a cam turned right midfielder.
Yeah, I think for now you're probably fine leaving Perez in until Under gets more ingrained into the team. I feel like for now, Under is going to be like coming in as a sub, or he's going to be playing in the cup matches. I don't see him starting immediately in the Premier League, especially if he's just there on loan. So I'd say for now, just keep with Perez if you have him, but I would keep an eye on that situation because Under could definitely take over, considering he's a natural right winger, unlike Perez. But if Madison gets injured, Perez will slot into that 10 role, and then Under will just go out to the right. So
And that would be my initial thought too, but we get a new guy, or not new, but he's getting a lot more minutes this year than he did last year in the first two games, especially with Prayet, that Belgian midfielder that Leicester has.
Yeah, he seemed like he was a center defensive mid, but now he kind of seems like he's a box to box. So yeah, he's definitely a good pickup. Last year, I think in our draft league, he wasn't the best because he'd start and he'd get a clean sheet, so you get 3 points from him, but he wasn't producing like he has his first two games. He's definitely a player to keep your eye on, but I think it also helps the fact of the way that Leicester, who they play the past 2 weeks, it goes into it. Because he's like against a better team. I don't think he's producing like he was the past two games because. Let me look up how many assists and goals he got last year because it was nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't that much. He had I think it was a goal the first game of this year and then an assist this past weekend, or it might be vice versa.
Yeah, so last year, so 11. But yeah, I would just keep my eye on him just to make sure because, okay, here, loaded. Last year he had 1 goal and 2 assists. So if he's going to do anything like he did last year...
How many minutes?
He had 27 appearances.
Did that tell you how many minutes he played?
Because I'm on the app, I'm on the player comparison thing.
Gotcha.
Not the actual... he had per goal, for how many minutes it took him to score per goal was 1,132, and he had 16 shots, 3 shots on target, and 5 shots off target. So he's definitely probably not a midfielder that you want to be picking up unless he's changed to more of that box to box like we were talking about.
I always thought he was a more attacking midfielder. I didn't know he played deeper. And maybe quarantine did him well. I don't know. It's a promising start. Maybe it's just the call to duty with Madison being out.
Yeah, that's true. But and also he probably is more of an attacking, but when you have Ndidi and Madison, you're probably designated as more as a box to box because Ndidi's going to be the center defensive mid and Madison is going to be the center attacking mid.
All right, what up, Palmer? What up, dog?
We got our dude Palmer in here as a guest.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about
Yes,
his
sir.
team for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I popped off last week, dude. I had 78 points. Dude.
I looked and I saw that I'm playing you next week, then I saw how you did this week, and I'm like, fuck me, because you had twice as many points as I did.
I don't know. I kind of feel bad for KG, dude. He put up like 58 points. I still caught it. Like, just unfortunate. But I don't know, man. My team, we're playing some tough oppositions next week, dude. So I'm not sure. Like, I have my whole back line is playing Man United, Man City, and Leeds, and all those teams will score.
Yeah, that's good
You
stuff.
think United's gonna score
Against fucking West Brom, or not West Brom, Brighton, yeah. I do.
You think...
Even though
well,
we were talking about the other day.
Well, you gotta understand, Man U's a small club now, so when you're playing a team like Brighton, who's a mid-table team, it's a toss-up. You don't know who's gonna take it away.
I mean, we'll see, dude.
Go in about your you had 78 points this week. You had Mane get 16, Rodriguez get 12, Ings got 11, Mitrovic got 12, and Bamford got 14.
I'm gonna say that I have the best front three
This week.
Oh,
in the fucking league.
I will say
Mitrovic
this.
is Bamford.
I'll say this. Getting Ings, he's gonna do the exact same things he did last year. Bamford, when you got him, I was like, damn, that was a fucking good ass pick, because I'm pretty sure you got him kind of late.
Well, yeah, I got him him and Mitrovic. Like,
Yeah, but
nobody had picked them up.
The thing
and I
about
was like, fuck
Mitrovic
it.
is that when Fulham were in the league 2 years ago, he did fuck all. So
He
I
was
was
good.
like, he got like 8 goals, and that's why they got relegated. If he could find form, like obviously, how many goals did he get this week? 2. If he can get at least a goal a week, every other week, yeah, that's a good fucking pickup. But
Well, I mean, he had 26 goals in the championship last season. I know the championship's different from the Prem, but
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's their offense.
it could
It's
be
through him.
Yeah,
you know,
it could. Do you
It
think
does
that they're
bleed,
gonna?
though. There's a pattern with Pookie and Abraham last
I
year,
was just
putting up
about to
those
say.
numbers coming through, and then
I was
Mitrovic
just about
coming
to
in.
say.
But how long does it last if it lasts?
Yeah.
My argument was with Bamford for that, because I was saying he's the next Pookie. Going off, like fucking James last season was like, oh, dude, like, I have the best pick, like,
Yeah.
sneaker pick.
See, the thing about Bamford is that I think what helps him, Leeds are never ever going to stray away from the way that they play, no matter who they're playing. Obviously, like they played the exact same way as they played against Liverpool, as they played against West Brom this weekend. So they're always going to get fucking chances to score.
Sorry.
And and Bamford is he obviously after the past 2 games, watch him, he's like a fucking clinical finisher.
Well,
So
they picked up Rodrigo preseason, and I was like, oh, shit.
yeah,
Like,
I
it's a
think
toss-up, dude.
I think
But-
he's more of a
Bamford's going to shadow Rodrigo. Rodrigo's like a poacher, play off the shoulder type deal, and Bamford kind of floats all around the final third from what I've seen the first 2 games, which is a decent. And he does it well. Bamford's kind of like what Liverpool wish Firmino was right now.
Right.
yeah.
When he just flowed everywhere.
Bamford is dynamic, whereas Rodrigo is the guy who you kind of just play the ball up to and hopefully you can hold on to it.
Yeah.
From what I understand. But yeah, I think if Bamford keeps scoring, like he's gonna stay in, and I think that was a fucking when you got him, I was like, fuck, that was a really good pick. And then obviously you got Mane, and then when you got James, I was like, I was so it was one of those 50-50s, yeah.
It was like that Lallana for you. I mean,
Yeah, and
it
you got the good end, I got the fucking shit end.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about Miguel Almiron and how the Newcastle manager switched to a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And so Almiron's not getting near as many minutes as he was last season, which kind of pissed me off because I figured with Callum Wilson to pick up with that, I'm like, oh, this guy's just gonna be pulling strings, playing the ball to finishers,
What I was saying to him
every week.
I think Steve Bruce is going to go back to the traditional four. And obviously, he is going back to the tall striker and then the small, quick striker and Callum Wilson and Carroll.
That's all Steve Bruce can do. That's all he knows.
It worked for him.
He did that. Like that's how it was when he was at United when he was there. Is that they played that 4-4-2, and I mean it's effective when you have the right players, and like obviously having Andy Carroll and Callum Wilson, it's a pretty good pairing to have. But yeah, without Murion, without them playing that like 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, and him playing that like cam role, it'll be hard for him to get minutes, especially because I think does he play on the same side as St. Maximin?
Yeah, he's not about to get over St. Maximin until an injury,
unless he gets moved to the other side, which. He could, but since he came from Atlanta United, I don't think he's really produced like he was expected to be. Because I remember when he was at Atlanta, he was like...
He was in the middle there,
insane.
though. I think at the end of last year's when they put him back in the middle at Newcastle when he started producing. He started on the left-hand side, which he never played the 2 seasons at Atlanta.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he could figure out how to play there, but he's attacking him. He's a 10 every day of the week, Almiron.
Well, he came on for, he has 45 minutes this past week, and he came on for Andy Carroll. So Andy Carroll, they split as number 9s.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm sure one of them, Callum's either playing higher or they can't be.
Depending on who he's with.
I think the good thing about that, though, is Andy Carroll is so injury-prone. Like, I don't know how many games he missed last year, so if Andy Carroll gets injured again, I mean, you know that Almirion's in the first... He's definitely in the first team if Andy Carroll's not there.
Right.
And then he's a 50-50 if Andy Carroll's there.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope he gets injured, but I don't want to waste that time for the sake of my picks and shit.
I understand. And then you have Jota on your bench, who we were going to talk about later on, but we may as well now since you have him. Being
But he fucked me going to Liverpool. He's not going to touch the ball for real. He's going to get in for like 20 minutes a game, if that.
But the thing is, he wasn't going to at Wolves anyway.
But why? He was one of their best goal scorers. I mean, he's listed as a midfielder.
Two
he
years
plays
ago.
as a
Potence.
2 years
those
ago,
two,
yeah.
I mean, they both have a goal and an assist, or something like that in the past 2 games. I know the first game that they both had a goal or an assist, and then I think one of the 2 had one last game.
Probably because there was Liverpool interest at the beginning of the season, and they realized, hey, we might as well just learn to live without him.
I feel like at the end of last year, though, he wasn't even in... I'm looking up his stats now.
He played, because I had him for weeks. He just didn't do shit. And then the second I get rid of him, he pops off and gets a hat trick with somebody.
Yeah, I picked him up from you.
Okay. Okay, well, there you go, right? So you picked him up last year, you got a hat trick, right? All season last season, he played 34 times, 7 goals, and 1 assist. So that is exactly why Podence and Neto have replaced him at Wolves. And him going to Liverpool, you're right. I don't think he's going to get the minutes because Klopp plays that same 11 every fucking week.
Yeah.
The only difference in that 11 is he'll put in Matic for Gomez every once in a while.
And apparently Fabinho's playing center back now.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Fabinho played center back this year.
Which is, not going to affect Jota's role at all. But I like it. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm all over that. He was phenomenal the other day.
He shut down Werner, which sucked for me because I fucking have Werner.
I don't think Chelsea's... We can talk about Chelsea later.
Yeah.
But Chelsea's a fucking disaster, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't...
Once we get through all this fantasy stuff, then we're going to talk shit about all the teams.
I want to get double teamed in here.
No, dude.
I've got positive things, and I said them last night about Arsenal.
I have only positive things to say about Arsenal right now.
Fair.
What else are we getting into here? Okay, we were talking about transfers, so we just talked about Jota. So Jota going Liverpool is bad if you're an FPL manager because he's never going to get play time. He'll get play time in the cup matches, and that's it. Because Klopp, even last year, I think that's why he brought in these players like Jota and
so he didn't have to play Harvey Elliott
too,
so he didn't have to play fucking Harvey Elliott. That's exactly my point.
Again. Hawks is good.
And then Minamino.
Yeah.
So
and what's that homegrown center mid? With the
Curtis Jones.
Curtis
Jones.
The Bushhead.
Yeah. Bushhead.
I mean, they're kind of good, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
They actually have what we were talking about last season about Liverpool is how they don't have the depth.
Yeah.
But they have that now, I think.
Yeah.
They have. Yeah.
They have Harry Wilson too on right wing. I mean, they have like a whole slew of forwards that are not going to be used throughout the season.
I wouldn't say that their depth is great, but they definitely have way more than they did last year, which is going to help them in the cup competitions. Because remember, I think it was in the FA Cup against Shrewsbury, they played the kids and then they had a replay, and Klopp was like, "Well, I'm not going to that," and neither was anyone in the first team, so they just played the kids and they ended up losing. I think it was 2-1.
Carabao or League Cup or FA Cup?
I think it was Carabao.
I think maybe it was Carabao, but they did the exact same fucking thing in the FA Cup too. I remember they lost in Carabao to Aston Villa because that's who City played, and then I know they lost to Shrewsbury in a replay, and I'm pretty sure that was the FA Cup because I remember the game before they tried everything that they could do to lose to Everton, and they still beat them. So
not this season, though, son.
No, dude. Yeah. We'll get into that, but yeah, definitely, Jota is a player that you want to get rid of if you have him on your team.